Welcome to the first episode of Crank, GDTV's car show. Now I'm here with Brian. Brian, how are you going?
Hi Lana, how are you? Going really well.
Fantastic. Now we are going to be taking a drive in your amazing Jaguar. Now what model of Jaguar is this car?
This is a 1993 XJS, one of only 550 made worldwide.
Wow, that's fantastic, isn't it?
I love it.
I think it's a very impressive car.
It's the bonnet length that really shows it off, because it's got that 6-litre V12 under there.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm sure it will really rock it off, won't it?
It can do. It can do.
Now I'm pretty excited about getting in that car and going for a really cool, smooth ride around Geraldton with you.
All right, Lana, let's go.
How many of these cars actually got made?
There were about 115,000 XJSs made, but this is one of the later production models, and so it's a hardtop coupe, and worldwide there are only about 550 of these made, so it's a fairly rare car.
What attracted you to buying this car?
It's funny that, because I really wanted the iconic E-Type. That's one of the, well, it's the only car that's made it into the Museum of Modern Art in New York, but I couldn't afford an E-Type, so this is the car that followed the E-Type, and I slowly fell in love with the XJS more so than the E-Type, but it's the shape of it. It's just got superb lines, beautiful lines.
And how much did you pay for this car?
I paid $38,000 about 4 or 5 years ago. When it came out, I knew in 1993 one of these would have cost you $182,000.
$182,000. Yep. That's a lot for a car.
It's a hell of a lot for a car, but it's a hell of a lot of car. Its lineage goes right the way back to the SS100, which was what Jaguars were originally called. But after the war, you couldn't really get away with calling a car the SS, so they changed the name to Jaguar. But yeah, its lineage is superb.
So where did you actually purchase this car from?
I saw it on the internet originally. It was over in Melbourne, but it came from Hong Kong way back, and that's why its Ks was so low. When I bought it, it had only done 38,000 K.
Wow!
And that's because on Hong Kong there is nowhere to drive at all. And it was owned by a Chinese chap over there, and he never used it. And it was purchased by a fellow who was a pilot with Cathay Pacific, and
cool.
He brought it into the country and did all the hard stuff, and I bought it from him in Melbourne.
What are some of the fantastic features about this car?
I think the most important thing is the all-alloy V12 engine. The V12 has huge power overlap, which means there's two cylinders firing off always at one time, so it's immensely smooth. It was known as having turbine-like power, so when it goes, it just pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls.
How quick can this car actually go?
According to the specs, it'll go up to 260k.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that's what it's rated up to. I, of course, have only had it up to 110.
Yeah, my car struggles to push 100. Now, does this car have any racing experience?
Yes, it was used by Tom Walkinshaw Racing. Not this one, obviously.
The model.
But, the XJSs were raced in a lot of the European touring car championships. But for Australia, it won Bathurst in 1985, gaining first, second, and sixth. So it really gave the Holdens and the Fords a thing too.
Okay, so with maintaining this car, do you sort of maintain it yourself and look after it yourself, or do you have to go to a special mechanic and all those sorts of things?
I don't touch anything under there. Absolutely nothing. It is a very hard car to work on. The actual motors, nothing spectacular in terms of mechanical complexity, but the wiring is very, very complicated. In its day, it was cutting edge, and I just wouldn't touch anything. It goes to a road bend, and I leave it there, and then I pay them lots of money, and it comes out perfect. But no, I don't touch anything on it.
And I noticed inside it's got leather interior.
Yes, Connolly leather. I'm not quite sure what Connolly leather is. Whether that was the name of the cow, I don't know. Apparently, Connolly leather is the top of the line stuff.
I've noticed you've got that wood-looking...
The veneer, the inlaid wood.
One.
Yeah, that's part of Jaguars since they first came out, and I think even the Jaguars now, you'll be able to have inlaid wood in it.
And I noticed on your steering wheel there's a lion.
That's the Jaguar.
Oh, that's the Jaguar.
That's called the Growler. You either have the Growler or the Leaper. And in this model, on the bonnets, you had to have the Growler because the Leaper was known to occasionally impale people, and all of the nanny states that you can't have Leapers in now. But I notice a lot of Jags do still have Leapers.
Yes.
Yeah. When I was eight years old, apparently I said, when I'm older, I'm going to have a Jaguar and I'm going to call it Mauser. And a few years ago, my sister bought me the number plates.
That's fantastic.
Hence it's called Mauser.
Well, that's it for the first episode of Crank here on GDTV. Thank you very much, Brian, for taking me in your amazing car.
You're welcome, Lana. That was great fun. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time here on Crank.